Hello and welcome to this Excel tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create a basic data entry form without VBA. Data entry forms are useful when you need to fill in a lot of manual data and you want to do this in a user-friendly way. This works best when you need to enter data in lots of columns, as the form allows you to enter vertically instead of horizontally. For our example, I'm going to keep things clear and use a small amount of columns. Now, for some reason, Excel decided that the form button should not be available in the ribbon by default. So there are two things that we need to do first. We need to add forms to our ribbon or quick access toolbar, and we need to format our data as a table. Let's start by adding forms. To do this, you click on the little arrow and select the More Commands option. This opens the quick access toolbar settings. Click on the drop-down arrow from Commands to choose from and select Commands not in the ribbon. Scroll down until you reach Form, select it and click on Add to move it to the right. If you click on OK, you save the adjustment. Here you can also choose to add it to the ribbon by clicking on Customize Ribbon on the left. You add form in the same way as you would add it to the Quick Access toolbar. For this tutorial, I'm going to add it to the toolbar. So this little icon over here is our newly added Forms button. For the next step, we have to format our data as a table. If we skip this step, Excel usually won't create a form as it doesn't recognize the necessary headers it needs to create a template. To do this, click anywhere inside your data range and then select the Format as a Table option, or use the keyboard command Ctrl-T. Excel automatically selects the table range. Make sure that the option My Table Has Headers is checked. Click on OK to continue. It doesn't matter which table style you choose. You can either pick one you like, or you can choose to clear the table style afterwards, and the form still works. Now everything is in place to start creating data entry forms in our Excel sheet. Excel is smart. To add a new data entry form, you click anywhere inside your table and then click on the form button that we added onto the quick access toolbar. If you click outside of this range, you get an error saying that the form can be applied to the selected range. So when I click inside the range, it opens the data entry form. As you can see in my example, it already added every entry from my table. The table headers are the fields to fill in. When you click on New, you can easily add data in a structured way in these fields. As an example, I'm going to add Switzerland, one for all for one, capital is Bern. So when you hit the Tab button, you jump to the field below, while hitting the Enter button will add your record in the Excel sheet. This way you can add lots of records without any horizontal scrolling. If you only have a few columns as in my example, you don't need to use a data entry form. The Delete button speaks for itself. When hitting this button, you delete the active record. You can undo this by closing the form and using the keyboard combination Ctrl-Z. The Restore button restores data in an active record. So this only works when you are editing a record but haven't jumped to the next one. Find Previous and Find Next are the navigation buttons for your form. Find Previous jumps to the previous record, while Find Next jumps to the next one. It's also possible to navigate with the scroll bar, which can save a lot of time in big data sheets. The Criteria button acts as the search function in our form. When you hit this button, you switch to empty header fields. You can use one or more of these fields to search for a specific record in your table. So let's say that we are searching for countries with the euro as a currency. When I hit search, the criteria function shows a complete record of Germany. I can go back and forth like this and find all countries with the euro. Criteria also works with wildcards. So for example, we want to search for all languages that start with ENG. To do this, you use an asterisk symbol and type ENG. If we hit enter, it immediately jumps to one of the records in our data form with English as a language. In the same way, it is possible to use smaller or greater than signs for returning numbers. Let's see what this gives us when we search for a population smaller than 10 million. So it returns Scotland, Singapore and Switzerland, which is correct of course. That's enough about criteria. Let's continue with data validation. Data entry forms are compatible with data validation. So for instance, we want to make sure that the number is filled in the population field. We close the form for now. To do this data validation, you select the entire column, followed by clicking on the Data tab. and then selecting data validation. There are a few criteria to choose from. In our example, we are going to set allow to decimal, data to greater than, and we will set the minimum to 0. Click on OK once you are done. Let's switch back to the data entry form and see if the data validation works for the population field. I'll type in test and hit enter. As you can see, we get an error telling us that the value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. If you want, you can further personalize the error message in the data validation settings in the Error Alert tab. This concludes our tutorial on how to create data entry forms. It is possible to adjust your forms in quite a few ways, but I'll leave this to the more advanced tutorials. That's it for now. Make sure to subscribe if you want to watch more Excel tutorials or if you are interested in general software related content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.